Like most aging equestrians, I've been feeling a few more aches and pains since the weather got cooler. Unfortunately, a couple days ago, I did tweak something in my neck. It's basically the same exact thing I did last year, right around this time. I do have some arthritis in my neck and back, and I think there's something about when the weather just gets a little bit colder that really irritates things.
Hey, buddy.
The real MVP of the last couple of days has been my husband, who has been working really hard to make sure that I don't overextend myself.
Hey, Tiny.
I am finally starting to feel a little bit of relief. I can actually move my arm today, so that's a bonus. The weather really hasn't been too cold. It's been around 20 degrees most days and just a little bit colder at night. While it has been really nice to have some help with chores, it is extremely hard for me to just let him do everything. I promised I wouldn't lift anything heavy, so I'm finding creative ways to get a few things done while he's not watching. I know a lot of you guys have also been worried about Huckleberry lately. When it gets this cold out, he really does not like to be outside for more than a couple of minutes. But since I've only been coming out to feed and not doing anything extra, he's been coming with me to stretch his legs and play a little bit. I'm pretty thankful I'm moving around a little bit easier than the last couple of days, because Scarlett and Ziggy had been getting a little bit anxious about not getting their normal turnout time. I currently don't really have all of my wits about me. For a few days I've been on some serious pain meds, which is tripping me up just a little bit. Thankfully, all of the horses are putting up with me, and it looks like after about 10 minutes, Huckleberry is ready to get back in the truck.
Come on, Lisa. Come on. Man. Paws cold? Come on, buddy. Come on, let's go.
I think a lot of times I don't actually realize how much work I do around the barn until I can't do it. I had a bunch of feed come in the mail this morning that I can't lift. I did have to put a stop to my daily manure removal, which is totally fine this time of year because it just freezes anyway, but it just does not look very good. I've been trying to do just a little bit more every day as my body allows, and this morning I think I'm going to be able to just lift up half a bucket of water for Pearl. We are going to be experiencing some colder temperatures over the next couple of days. With all of the bad weather around the US, the little run-in that I bought for Pearl has still not gotten here yet. I actually don't think I would be able to put it together right now anyway, so I'm going to have to do something else for her for the meantime. I do have a few little windbreaks that I'm going to put up around the outside of her round pen, and then I do think she'll probably have to spend a day or two inside the barn. One of the days coming up, the wind chill is supposed to be around 50 below zero, so it'll be nice for her to be inside when that happens. It has been kind of interesting to see how the horses react to me not being around as often. The kind of new routine is that I take care of all of the horses in the barn, and my husband has been doing all of the hay outside. Some of the boys have been really concerned that I'm not able to brush them every single day. With it being a little bit colder overnight, this girl has been getting her blanket left on. Her medication seems to still be working and she seems in rather good spirits.
I know, Zig. Let's see.
I think the horses must know that I'm not at 100% because for some reason they have finally figured out how to poop outside, which has been a huge help because I definitely cannot clean stalls right now. And as helpful as my husband has been, he just does not like to touch poop. The only horse that's giving me a little bit of trouble in that area is actually Nigel. For some reason, all of a sudden, he has decided that he's going to poop in his little run-in shed, which I guess is good because that means he is using it. With it getting a little bit colder out, there's also an increased amount of hay that all of the horses need, so it is a little bit more work right now. Pearl has been enjoying her senior feed pretty well. I think she actually might like the regular mash a bit better, so I think I might switch back to that. I've been giving her lots of extra hay, and she actually still gets a tiny bit sweaty under her blanket, depending on what the weather is. For the colder snap coming up, I am going to get her a little neck rug so she stays a little bit warmer. She also does have her water heater in, and she is drinking pretty well from it. Even with the colder temperature, she is moving around quite a bit, so her edema is still slowly going down. It's not completely resolved yet, but it is certainly getting better. 20 degrees may seem a little bit chilly, but today I'm not even wearing gloves, and I actually haven't been able to pull on my Carhartt, so I'm just wearing some wool joggers. It's honestly kind of on the edge of being too hot for Pearl to wear a blanket. Even Nigel and Frisco Bill have been staying nice and toasty warm with just their regular coat.
I think.
Since all of the horses have been getting a little bit of extra hay, they basically have forage in front of them 24/7. Scarlet and Ziggy do get some piles of alfalfa out here, and then you can't see them, but they do have grass hay bags hanging all the time. I think after helping me take care of the horses for a couple days, my husband is starting to see the value in us getting a larger property that does have quite a bit of pasture. The setup here isn't too bad, but there are a lot of things that I could do to build up a place that would make it much more efficient to take care of so many horses at once. It's a hard thing to explain, but now that he's fed a few times, he definitely understands it better. Sometimes I do wish that my husband liked hanging out with the horses as much as I do. I don't really feel like all of these chores are work. I enjoy spending time with the horses, whether I'm riding them or not. You don't really realize how much you miss it until you actually can't come out and do chores every day. Even though the last couple of days have been a little bit on the tricky side for me, I think that when I finally get back to 100%, I'm going to have a new appreciation for just being able to get out and do these chores every day. I'm also hopeful that all of these chores are going to light a fire under us to get our own place bought sometime in the near future.
Ciao. Nigel.
We had decided to stop looking actively for a property, but there is one that I've been watching for almost a year now that we are finally gonna go take a look at pretty soon. It is about the same size as this property, and I think it would work out perfectly for the horses I have now, with some room to make some improvement. I'm trying not to get too excited about it because there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for us to make it work. Winter is definitely not the best time to be thinking about moving all of the horses, but it might lead us to be able to get a little bit of a better deal.
Nigel. Hey, buddy. Girl.
The extra little windbreak that we put up for Pearl looks like it's going to work perfectly for these less windy days. Even though she does not mind being outside at all, it's important to keep her protected from some of the elements. I feel like I'm headed in an upward trajectory, and hopefully I'll be feeling so much better in a couple of days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.